Every day you face choices. Some days you wake up full of energy and passion. Motivation is there, pushing you forward. But on other days, motivation fades. It's fleeting, unpredictable, and often unreliable. The truth is, motivation alone won't get you to your goals. It's discipline that powers your journey. When motivation runs dry, discipline is what keeps you on track when you don't feel like it. It's the consistent force behind every success story. Motivation is like a spark. It lights the fire. But discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after the spark is gone. Without discipline, your goals remain dreams, and your potential remains untapped. When you build discipline, you create unstoppable momentum. You develop habits that automate success. You no longer depend on how you feel at any moment. Instead, you commit to a plan, and you follow through every single day. Remember, success isn't about occasional bursts of effort. It's about consistent, deliberate action. It's waking up early, showing up, doing the work, and pushing through obstacles. Discipline transforms you from someone who hopes for success into someone who achieves it. So today, make a decision. Choose discipline over motivation. Build routines that move you forward, even on the hardest day. Because when motivation fades, and it will, your discipline will carry you further than you ever imagined. Motivation is often misunderstood as the driving force behind success. We talk about motivation as if it's the key to getting things done, the secret ingredient that propels us toward our goals. But motivation is a fleeting emotion, an intense feeling that can flare up brightly, then quickly fade away. It depends heavily on circumstances, moods, and external factors beyond our control. Some days you wake up feeling inspired and ready to conquer the world. Other days the energy is gone, and no amount of wishing or hoping can summon it back. The problem with motivation is that it is unpredictable. You cannot rely on motivation to show up on schedule or stay around long enough to complete the tasks that matter. It's like a gust of wind, strong and helpful when it blows in your favor, but it can also disappear suddenly, leaving you stranded. When motivation fades, and it will, those who depend solely on it find themselves stuck, frustrated, or giving up altogether. The inconsistency of motivation makes it an unreliable partner for achieving lasting success. Discipline, on the other hand, is not about feelings or moods. It's a commitment, a decision you make to take action regardless of how you feel in the moment. Discipline means showing up every day, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's about having a system and sticking to it, whether you're tired, distracted, or uninspired. While motivation is an emotional surge, discipline is a deliberate habit that you build over time. It's steady, dependable, and far more powerful in the long run. Where motivation wavers, discipline endures. Discipline is permanent because it doesn't depend on external circumstances or internal emotions. It is rooted in your values and goals, not in fleeting feeling. When you develop discipline, you create a strong foundation for progress. This foundation supports you through the ups and downs, enabling you to keep moving forward regardless of temporary setbacks or changes in mood. Discipline creates a framework for your action. It establishes clear boundaries and routines, guiding your behavior consistently toward your desired outcome. Unlike motivation, which is passive and waits to be felt, discipline is proactive. It demands action. It requires you to push through resistance, distractions, and procrastination. This reliability turns discipline into the engine of your progress, powering you steadily ahead even when motivation fails to appear. The permanence of discipline also lies in its ability to shape your character. When you commit to discipline, you're essentially training your mind and body to perform at a high level every day. You strengthen your willpower, develop self-control, and build mental resilience. These qualities don't come from motivation alone. They are forged in the daily practice of discipline. Over time, discipline becomes an ingrained part of who you are, making success not just a possibility but a natural outcome. Another critical aspect of discipline's permanence is its compound effect. Just as money multiplies through compound interest, your discipline actions build upon each other over time. Each small decision to follow through adds momentum, creating a snowball effect that propels you further and faster. Motivation can spark the initial idea or effort, but discipline sustains and grows it. Without discipline, motivation sparks are just flashes of light, beautiful but short-lived. Finally, discipline offers control and predictability. When motivation fluctuates, you're at the mercy of your emotions and external environment. But discipline puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you the power to decide what actions to take and when to take them. This control is liberating because it means you don't have to wait for the perfect moment or the right feeling to start making progress. You can rely on yourself, day after day, building your future through consistent, disciplined effort. Discipline is the foundation upon which habits are built. When you practice discipline consistently, you begin to create routines and behaviors that no longer require conscious effort or decision-making. These habits become automatic responses, guiding your daily actions toward your goals, without needing constant reminders or bursts of willpower. This process of automation is what makes discipline so powerful. Once good habits take root, success begins to happen naturally. The power of habits lies in their ability to simplify complex goals. Instead of facing a mountain of tasks every day, discipline breaks those tasks into manageable, repeatable actions. By doing this regularly, you build momentum and eliminate the mental resistance that often comes with starting something new or difficult. Habits remove the friction from productivity because you no longer need to debate whether or not to act. The action has become part of your routine. When discipline forms these habits, your brain rewires it through repetition. Neural pathways strengthen, making certain behaviors easier and more automatic over time. This neurological process means that disciplined actions require less energy, allowing you to maintain high levels of performance consistently. You begin to rely less on motivation or willpower because your habits take over, guiding your behavior even when you don't feel particularly driven. Another critical aspect is that habits born from discipline protect you against distractions and setbacks. When your daily actions are habitual, they are less susceptible to the unpredictable nature of emotions or external events. Even when life throws challenges your way, disciplined habits serve as anchors that keep you grounded and focused. They create a structure that supports you in moving forward regardless of circumstances. Discipline also enables you to prioritize effectively through habit. When you develop a disciplined routine, you're consciously choosing what activities deserve your time and energy. Over time, these choices become ingrained habits that automatically steer you toward high-value tasks, instead of distractions or low-impact work. This focus on priority helps you maximize your efforts and achieve results more efficiently. Automating success through discipline-driven habits also reduces decision fatigue. Every day, your brain makes countless decisions, and the more choices you face, the more mentally exhausted you become. By turning important actions into habits, you remove the need to repeatedly decide whether to do something. This frees up mental energy to focus on creative thinking, problem solving, and other tasks that require conscious attention. The consistent practice of discipline also builds confidence. As your habits produce small wins day after day, you reinforce your belief in your ability to succeed. This positive feedback loop encourages you to keep going, creating a self-sustaining cycle of progress. You start to trust yourself more because you know you have the habits in place to follow through, even when motivation is absent. Finally, disciplined habits are the building blocks of long-term success. While motivation might inspire short bursts of achievement, only habits sustained by discipline create lasting change. They turn lofty goals into achievable steps, and transform potential into real results. Over time, these habits shape your identity and define the kind of person you become, someone who consistently delivers, grows, and succeeds. Life is unpredictable, and every journey towards success comes with its share of difficult days. There will be moments when you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or simply unmotivated. It's in these moments that discipline becomes your greatest asset. While motivation may desert you during tough times, discipline acts as a reliable engine, pushing you forward even when your emotions tell you to stop. Discipline is the choice to continue despite discomfort or lack of enthusiasm. On hard days when your energy is low or distractions are plentiful, discipline is what forces you to show up and do the work anyway. It's the inner voice that reminds you that progress isn't about feeling good every moment, but about taking consistent steps toward your goals, regardless of how you feel. During challenges, discipline helps you resist the temptation to quit or procrastinate. It keeps you aligned with your long-term vision, when immediate circumstances might make quitting seem like the easier option. Tough days test your commitment, but discipline transforms those tests into opportunities to prove your resilience and deepen your dedication to your purpose. Discipline also creates a buffer against the unpredictability of life. When you rely solely on motivation, any setback can derail you completely. But with discipline, you build a routine that carries you through disruption. Whether you're tired, stressed, or facing external obstacles, your disciplined habits maintain your momentum and prevent you from losing valuable ground. Another critical function of discipline on tough days is that it preserves your sense of control. Difficult situations often make us feel helpless or overwhelmed. Discipline, however, grounds you by focusing your attention on the actions you can control. It shifts your mindset from dwelling on problems to taking deliberate steps forward, no matter how small those steps might be. Even on days when progress feels slow or invisible, discipline encourages persistence. It reminds you that success is a marathon, not a sprint. Every bit of effort counts, and showing up consistently builds the cumulative power that eventually leads to breakthrough. Discipline keeps you moving forward even if the path seems unclear or the results aren't immediate. Moreover, discipline nurtures mental toughness by reinforcing your ability to endure challenge. Each time you choose discipline over giving in to discomfort, you strengthen your capacity to handle future difficulties. This mental strength becomes a vital tool in your arsenal, enabling you to push through barriers that would stop others in their track. Finally, discipline on tough days fosters self-respect and confidence. When you persevere through hardship, you prove to yourself that you are capable and committed. This internal validation fuels your motivation for future efforts, creating a positive cycle where discipline and confidence reinforce each other. Over time, you develop an unshakable belief in your ability to achieve, no matter the obstacle. Success is rarely the result of sudden dramatic moments of inspiration. While those moments can be exciting and energizing, they are not enough to carry you across the finish line. True success is built on steady, consistent effort applied day after day, week after week, regardless of whether you feel inspired or not. It's the small actions compounded over time that create lasting results. Bursts of inspiration can provide a powerful initial push, but they lack the sustainability needed for long-term achievement. When you rely only on these spikes of energy, you're vulnerable to burnout or disappointment once the excitement fades. Success requires a dependable foundation, a routine of consistent work that doesn't depend on how motivated or inspired you feel in any given moment. Consistency transforms effort into progress. By showing up regularly and committing to your goals through persistent action, you build momentum. Each day's work adds to the previous days, creating a snowball effect that grows your skills, confidence, and results. This ongoing effort, not isolated bursts, is what separates those who reach their goals from those who fall short. Inconsistent effort leads to uneven results. When your work is sporadic and driven only by inspiration, you'll find yourself stuck in cycles of starts and stops. This inconsistency slows your growth and makes it harder to develop the discipline and habits that sustain success. Over time, the gap between your intentions and your outcomes widens, creating frustration and missed opportunities. A key benefit of consistent effort is that it helps you develop mastery. Repetition and regular practice refine your skills, deepen your understanding, and increase your effectiveness. This gradual improvement is impossible to achieve through sporadic, high-energy bursts alone. Mastery requires dedication to the process over the long haul, which only consistent effort can provide. Consistent effort also builds resilience. When you commit to daily progress, you learn to adapt to obstacles, setbacks, and distractions without losing focus. This steady approach strengthens your ability to persevere when things get tough, because you know success isn't about perfect conditions. It's about persistent action despite challenges. Moreover, consistent effort enhances your credibility and reputation. People notice those who show up reliably and deliver results over time. This trust can open doors to new opportunities, partnerships, and resources that fuel further success. Inspiration might spark an idea, but it's the discipline of steady effort that convinces others you're serious and dependable. Finally, consistent effort fosters a mindset of responsibility and ownership. When you commit to putting in the work every day, you take control of your success. You become less dependent on external circumstances or fleeting emotions,
and more focused on what you can do to move forward. This mindset shift is critical because it empowers you to create your own future through persistent, deliberate action.
Discipline is one of the most powerful tools for building mental toughness. When you commit to a disciplined routine, you train your mind to stay focused and persistent, even when faced with adversity. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's developed through deliberate practice and the consistent choice to push forward, especially when it's uncomfortable or challenging. Every time you resist the urge to quit or procrastinate, you strengthen your ability to endure discomfort and keep going. This repeated practice builds resilience, the capacity to bounce back from setbacks and continue striving toward your goals. Discipline teaches you to embrace difficulties as opportunities to grow, rather than obstacles that hold you back. Resilience born from discipline allows you to maintain a positive attitude during tough times. Instead of becoming discouraged by failure or criticism, you learn to view these experiences as feedback and stepping stones. This shift in mindset is essential because it transforms challenges into valuable lessons that fuel your progress rather than reasons to give up. Mental toughness also involves controlling your emotions and reactions. Discipline trains you to regulate impulses like frustration, fear, or doubt that can derail your efforts. By practicing self-control, you prevent negative emotions from sabotaging your progress. This emotional regulation is a cornerstone of resilience and enables you to stay calm and focused under pressure. Another important aspect of mental toughness is the ability to delay gratification. Discipline teaches you to prioritize long-term rewards over immediate pleasures or distraction. This capacity to delay gratification is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who settle for short-term comfort. It requires willpower and focus, both of which are strengthened through disciplined habits. Discipline also encourages a proactive mindset. Instead of reacting passively to setbacks or difficulties, you learn to anticipate challenges and prepare for them. This forward-thinking approach builds confidence and reduces anxiety, because you're ready to face obstacles head-on rather than being caught off guard. Mental toughness thrives in this environment of preparedness. Through discipline, you develop a strong sense of personal responsibility. You stop blaming external circumstances or other people for your struggles and take ownership of your actions and outcomes. This sense of accountability is crucial for resilience because it empowers you to find solutions and keep moving forward, no matter what life throws at you. Finally, discipline creates a cycle of success that reinforces mental toughness. Each time you overcome a challenge through disciplined effort, you build confidence in your ability to handle future difficulties. This growing self-belief fuels further resilience, creating an unstoppable momentum toward your goal. Over time, mental toughness becomes an integral part of who you are. Relying solely on motivation to achieve your goals is like building a house on sand, unstable and prone to collapse. Motivation is powerful but fleeting. It fluctuates with your mood, environment, and external circumstance. When you depend only on motivation, you put your success at the mercy of forces outside your control. This vulnerability leaves you exposed to failure the moment motivation dips or disappears. Motivation can be influenced by how well you slept, the weather, your interactions with others, or even what you ate for breakfast. These factors make motivation unpredictable and inconsistent. You might wake up feeling energized and ready to tackle your goals, but the next day you could feel completely drained or distracted. If your progress depends on these changing emotions, it's difficult to maintain steady forward movement. Because motivation is unreliable, it often leads to cycles of starting strong and then quitting when the initial excitement wears off. This inconsistency wastes energy, time, and potential. You might launch new projects or goals with enthusiasm, only to abandon them halfway through because motivation waned. Over time, this pattern erodes confidence and makes it harder to commit fully to future endeavors. Relying on motivation also fosters a mindset of waiting for the right moment to act. You might delay important tasks, hoping motivation will strike before you begin. This waiting game is a trap because the right moment rarely arrives on its own. Success requires action even when conditions aren't perfect, something motivation alone cannot guarantee.
Discipline fills this gap by providing a dependable framework for action. It creates a habit of doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Unlike motivation, discipline doesn't wait for permission. It pushes you to move forward even when you're tired, distracted, or uninspired. This consistent effort is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. Moreover, relying solely on motivation undermines your ability to develop resilience. When motivation disappears, you're left vulnerable to giving up. Discipline builds mental toughness and perseverance, equipping you to face challenges head-on. It prepares you to push through discomfort and setbacks rather than surrender. When motivation fades, motivation can also be misleading. It often encourages you to pursue goals that feel exciting in the moment, but don't align with your deeper purpose or long-term vision. Discipline, by contrast, anchors you to your priorities. It keeps you committed to what truly matters, even if the work is difficult or less glamorous. This focus reduces distractions and increases your chances of lasting success. Finally, motivation is unreliable because it's reactive. It depends on external stimuli or emotions to spark action. Discipline is proactive. It's the choice you make to take control of your life and your progress. When you cultivate discipline, you become the driver of your success, no longer at the mercy of fleeting feelings. This shift is essential for building a strong foundation that can withstand the inevitable ups and downs of any journey. Long-term success is not achieved overnight. It is the result of steady, consistent progress made over time. Discipline is the engine that drives this progress. When you commit to disciplined actions day after day, you are essentially laying bricks in the foundation of your future success. Each small step may seem insignificant on its own, but together they build a powerful momentum that leads to extraordinary results. Steady progress is like compounding interest in a bank account. Just as money grows exponentially when left to accumulate, your disciplined efforts accumulate and multiply over time. Even when progress seems slow or invisible, the consistent actions you take each day are quietly shaping your future. This incremental growth ensures that success is sustainable and lasting, rather than a fleeting moment of achievement. Discipline prevents the temptation to seek quick fixes or shortcuts. In a world that often glorifies overnight success, it's easy to become impatient or distracted by shiny new opportunities. However, true success requires commitment to a proven path and the willingness to put in the necessary work day after day. Discipline keeps you focused on what truly matters, rather than chasing fleeting trends or instant gratification. By building steady progress through discipline, you also develop the patience needed to withstand setbacks. Success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, failures, and detours along the way. Discipline gives you the resilience to keep moving forward during these challenging times, knowing that long-term progress depends on your ability to persevere, not just your initial enthusiasm. Steady progress also reinforces your confidence. When you see tangible results from your consistent efforts, you begin to trust your process and yourself more deeply. This confidence fuels further action and commitment, creating a positive feedback loop. Discipline, therefore, not only builds success, but also nurtures the mindset necessary to sustain it over time. Another benefit of steady progress is the clarity it brings. As you move forward consistently, you gain insight into what strategies work and which don't. This ongoing learning allows you to make informed adjustments and improve your approach. Discipline ensures you don't abandon your goals prematurely, but rather refine your methods to maximize effectiveness. Discipline also fosters a strong sense of ownership and accountability. When you commit to steady progress, you take responsibility for your actions and their outcomes. This sense of control empowers you to make proactive decisions, rather than blaming external factors or waiting for luck. It shifts your mindset from being a passive participant in your success to becoming the architect of your future. Finally, long-term success through steady progress creates a legacy. The habits, skills, and achievements you build over time leave a lasting impact on your life and those around you. Discipline ensures that your efforts are not just momentary bursts of activity, but enduring contributions that define your personal and professional journey. This lasting impact is the true measure of success. Discipline is not just about the actions you take, it fundamentally shapes your identity, the person you become over time. Every choice you make, especially the disciplined ones, sends a powerful message to yourself about who you are and what you value. When you consistently act with discipline, you begin to see yourself as someone capable, reliable, and committed to your goals. This evolving self-perception fuels further disciplined behavior, creating a powerful cycle of growth. Your habits and routines are extensions of your identity. For example, if you see yourself as a disciplined person, you're more likely to stick to healthy habits, manage your time effectively, and pursue your goals with tenacity. On the other hand, if you view yourself as someone who lacks discipline, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your actions will align with that belief. Discipline, therefore, is not just about external behavior, but about rewriting the story you tell yourself. When discipline shapes your identity, it anchors your sense of purpose. It helps you align your daily actions with your core values and long-term vision. This alignment reduces internal conflict and uncertainty, making it easier to stay focused and motivated. You stop drifting aimlessly and start living intentionally, with clarity about who you are and where you're going. Discipline also fosters integrity. When you commit to disciplined actions, you're essentially making promises to yourself and following through on them. This builds trust within yourself, which is the foundation of personal integrity. Over time, this integrity becomes a defining characteristic of your identity, influencing how others perceive and respect you. Furthermore, the discipline to keep showing up, even when it's difficult, teaches you patience and perseverance. These qualities become part of your character, helping you face challenges with grace and determination. As your identity strengthens, you're less likely to be shaken by setbacks or external criticism because you know who you are and what you stand for. Discipline also impacts your mindset and worldview. A disciplined identity fosters a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset encourages continuous self-improvement and resilience, essential traits for achieving success in any area of life. The process of becoming disciplined changes how you handle failure. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth, you begin to view it as feedback and an opportunity for growth. This shift in perspective helps you maintain confidence and motivation, reinforcing your disciplined identity as someone who learns and grows from every experience. Finally, as discipline shapes your identity, it influences your relationships and environment. People are naturally drawn to those who exhibit consistency, reliability, and strength of character. Your disciplined actions inspire others and create a supportive network that reinforces your values and goals. In this way, discipline not only transforms you but also elevates those around you. In the end, motivation will come and go like the weather, unpredictable and outside of your control. But discipline is the steady force that propels you forward when motivation fades. It's the daily commitment to your goals, the inner strength to keep going when the path gets tough, and the foundation upon which lasting success is built. Remember, every great achievement in history was the result of consistent effort, mental toughness, and the willingness to show up day after day. Discipline doesn't just get you through the hard times, it transforms you. It shapes your character, your mindset, and ultimately the legacy you leave behind. So choose discipline, let it be the compass that guides you when motivation feels distant. Because when you do, you won't just reach your goals. You'll become the person capable of reaching even greater heights. The journey isn't easy, but with discipline, it's absolutely possible. And that is the real key to success.